I'm Jamie Ballantyne Dolby, and we have world-class dance right here in St. Louis coming up on City Corner. I'm excited to be joined here with Michael, the Artistic Director for Dance St. Louis. Dance St. Louis has been doing some amazing things over 50 years right here in St. Louis, right?
56 years, yes.
Wow, and I have heard of Dance St. Louis, but I feel like I got familiar with Dance St. Louis during the pandemic. Michael, you jumped on the scene right on social media and gave us the Michael's Minute.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us about, the history of Dance St. Louis, but how did you get to last, over 50 years in St. Louis?
Well, it started very small. It was the vision of a lady, Annalisa Mertz, who wanted to bring contemporary modern dance. And very soon it became obvious that there was a much larger public than an unlimited amount of people that would come in to look at very avant-garde dance. And it grew and it grew and it grew, and it became one of the largest dance presenters, only dance presenting organizations in the United States. And it would stabilize itself and kept producing. When the opportunity existed, it brought companies from Europe, but now the finances and all the expenses that are involved in all of that, plus the problem with visa and COVID, it just doesn't warrant doing it. So we've come to focus a great deal on American dance.
And you talk about finances and the things that it takes to put on productions and bring in other dancers and companies. You're the only, or the first, Dance St. Louis, the first nonprofit dance studio of its kind really in the area, or really the longest serving for sure.
I would imagine, yes. I mean, if you look at what exists in dance and the other organizations, that it's been the longest standing. But we are, as I said, we are a presenting organization. I don't have a school. We don't have a dance company. We just focus on bringing the very best the world has to offer to St. Louis and sort of try and balance it to what the St. Louis companies are doing so that we can heighten their qualities or maybe making them improve as well, while bringing the audience to an understanding of the variety that dance has to offer.
St. Louis really has always been a melting pot of the arts. And I think we're exposed to it, like companies with Dance St. Louis. How is it that you all are really, taking this passion of presenting? What does that mean, presenting these dance companies and these dance experiences to a city like St. Louis and those that have a love for the arts?
But when I came in, and I take it very much as part of my responsibility to bring the people with me to the kind of knowledge that I had about dance, okay? So in some ways, I throughout the year experience that we show you, or through the 10 years that I was here first, we try and give you a path that by the time you travel with me, you've seen the world of dance. So we've brought companies from China, we've brought companies from Europe, from Germany, we've brought companies from Spain, from Argentina, from Mexico, different parts that appeal. Not all of them will appeal to everybody. It's become very obvious that we are sort of, I don't know if the right word is to be segregated, but it kind of, people get in groups and they only come if they feel familiar or if they feel unthreatened by the act that you're going to present.
Right.
And it requires a little bit of diplomacy of trying to figure out how can you do it. And when you find out that, for instance, the public that goes to see a great company like Alvin, Ailey will not come to see something else that's happening in town. So it's a balancing act of quality.
we know the names like Alvin, Ailey. I mean, they definitely resonate with St. Louis. Do you have a favorite dance company or one that you just, a show that is just resonates with you no matter what?
Not really. I mean, in that way, I'm very facile. I like what the audience likes. I mean, Alvin Ailey, of course, is way up there. I mean, I've known them since the 1950s, 60s when I came to New York, and they were just starting. I love Paul Taylor, I love Martha Graham, I like the Moon Company. There are some ballet companies that are doing Pilobolus, Momix, Diavolo that's coming up. have been fascinating. And then when we look at different things, the spectacle that a Ballet Folklorico of Mexico will do, or what we're bringing now with Tango Argentina, they bring different qualities that I enjoy as a dancer. One of the things why, this is terrible to say, but why I think I'm really very well equipped for this job is because I have a view of dance that is very wide. It doesn't narrow to one thing.
Right.
You know, so I enjoy a lot of things and I hate a lot of things.
So what does it take to, really get Dance St. Louis to continue to be in St. Louis? We know that it's a nonprofit organization, started, by the idea of one woman, but now you all have staff and a board. How can St. Louis continue to support Dance St. Louis?
Well, certainly we've been blessed that the corporations and foundations have been very generous for the most part. Although right now with the COVID situation, there is a transition, some of them being more generous than they were before, others withdrawing and putting their commitment elsewhere, so that puts the arts in jeopardy as a whole, right. which is a little bit frightening. But I think that the more important thing is that the public come to see, because what we bring here, if they were ever curious to go see it anywhere else, it would cost them twice as much. So the price of admission that still might feel high for many people, it's 1/3 of what you pay in New York City, even 1/3 of what you pay in Chicago.
And not just the price, because a lot of people just don't have the opportunity to travel to these cities.
Exactly.
Is an expense alone, and then the expense of getting the ticket, if you can even get a ticket, and a lot of shows. And when I visit New York, it's almost impossible to get shows to a good ballet or a good dance.
It's like I tell my friend, I refuse to pay for dance. I mean, I've been around enough that it got to invite me or I don't show up.
Right.
Because I'm not going to pay those prices.
Right.
And that's one of the things that Dance St. Louis has done, and in some ways at great expense to us, which is make it affordable to the people that we serve in the community.
Well, I'm definitely excited. We have some exciting footage to share that Dance St. Louis has done over the years, and do a little salsa. We have a little things coming up. I know February 5th is Tango
Argentina, yes.
Okay, and I'm very, very excited to see what's coming up. So
they're an amazing group of dancers.
I love it. I am here for. Now I wish I could salsa. I wish I could dance like this, but since this is not my ministry, I'm definitely an admirer of the arts, and I'm very...
I admire too. I don't do that. I mean, that lift I can do, but the other stuff I don't. I lived in Buenos Aires for a year, and I tried doing that, and no, it didn't work.
You said that so casually. I can do the lift.
The lift I can do.
The lift you can do. It's amazing. It's really amazing as our viewers have the opportunity to see on screen the work that goes into these dancers. It's not something that's easy, and you all are really bringing the work to also bring this to the community, which I think is just amazing.
Interesting thing about dance is that we make it look like it's no effort at all. It's not like when you do the competitions and you see everybody's effort. If you see a dancer struggling, you get very nervous. You don't want to watch them. So the whole idea is to do the difficult thing and don't tell anybody how difficult it is. It's not like you like a circus act, where you try something, you fail, and then you do it again until everybody goes, wow.
Right. Is it something special when the acts come to St. Louis as a part of Dance St. Louis? Do they feel the energy in the audience? Because we don't get exposed to things like that often. So are the dance companies, do they give us a little special show, or do they have a different experience when they're in a city like ours?
I think because of the reputation that Dance St. Louis has, I know that they can't fool us. That if they, I remember one show that I brought that I didn't think was up to par, and I went over to the manager and I said, don't ever try and do that again, because I felt that was disappointing. And the audience knew it too. The act will remain unnamed, but that's what happened. No, the people know that they come here, that the public that attends, the core group that comes, has seen an enormous amount of dance. So they know what they're seeing, they know what's good. We need to try and get the fringe audience to come and fill it in more, so that we wouldn't have to be so dependent on contributed income.
Can you repeat that last statement? I'm sorry.
Well, the idea is they're trying to bring all these fringe people, because we have extra seats, that we want to bring them in to create more revenue, so that the reliability of Dance St. Louis doesn't have to rely always on begging for money or contributed income. you know, which is part of the American way. So there's nothing you can do about it.
It is the American way, and it doesn't have to be the Dance St. Louis way. I think that the work you all are doing is phenomenal, and I definitely want to hear it because I know you've seen some of the most famous names come through Dance St. Louis, and you've worked with some amazing people that have come out of St. Louis. I'm looking forward to hear. Maybe I can get the name of the company that didn't do so well out of you. Are you going to share that later? No, I won't get that out of you. Okay.
Matter of fact, I don't even remember what name, but I know it was not very good.
Well, we won't. We know that you all demand the best, and I think that's just amazing that St. Louis is really getting the best by way of Dance St. Louis. It's amazing what you do and what Dance St. Louis does. And we're here with Michael, the Artistic Director of Dance St. Louis. We're excited to learn more about the remainder of the 2021 and 2022 season and what's coming up February 5th.
It's Tango Argentina, which is a collection of tango music, tango dancers with live music, which should resonate very much. We brought different tango organizations throughout my previous tenure here, and they were hugely successful.
More with Michael from Dance St. Louis right after this.
Voices?
Like your text to emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's put a ride home. No, it's so sad. It's not. Here, put that on.
There's so many reasons to love St. Louis, you can't pick just one. From the arts, architecture, and culture. An all-new development, including the Cortex Community Center. And you're never too far from great music and entertainment.
So come and experience St. Louis.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes, and you can do it here. So what are you waiting for? Just go to the site.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day, I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
The Missouri Botanical Garden is loved by green thumbs and non-gardening types alike because you can play. You can relax. And there's always something new to experience, no matter the time of day or the season. And learn about conservation and one-of-a-kind plants. So come and experience St. Louis.
If you smoked, this new lung cancer screening could save your life. Visit SaveByTheScan.org.
150 over 90.
180 over 111.
160 over 110. I had a stroke.
This is what high blood pressure looks like. You might not feel its symptoms, but the results from a stroke are far from invisible or silent. If you've come off your treatment plan, get back on it, or talk with your doctor to create an exercise, diet, and medication plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
If I would have followed a treatment plan, I would not be in this situation.
There's so many reasons to love St. Louis, you can't pick just one.
What I love about St. Louis is the 79 unique neighborhoods and 108 beautiful city parks, including Forest Park, which is actually larger than Central Park in New York, and the gorgeous Tower Grove Park right here.
And there's always something new to experience, no matter the time of day or the season. So come and experience St. Louis.
I'm Jamie Ballantyne Dolby, back for City Corner, here with Michael, the Artistic Director of Dance St. Louis. I have enjoyed learning about Dance St. Louis, and I'm really excited to see a show. I know that the season picks back up February 5th. Tell us about what we have, what we can expect.
Well, February 5th, we talked about it, Tango Argentina, which will be an incredible show as far as appealing to everybody. On April 19th, we're bringing a company called the Ballet, the Trocaderos in Monte Carlo. And they're an interesting company because they're only male dancers. And it started almost as a spoof and dance, and it's become this incredibly sophisticated dance company that is only danced by male, and they tour the whole world. And don't ask me for what reason or another, Dance St. Louis never brought them before. So we are really thrilled that they're gonna be here. And they do fun work. Okay, it's not to be taken too seriously. You know, it's a little bit naughty with a little bit of nice.
I like it.
It's nice with naughty, whatever. And then we close the season with Spring to Dance Festival, which has become a world-renowned festival that Dance St. Louis has put together. And we put it together every year on Memorial Day weekend. And we bring, well, before pandemic time, we were bringing 30 companies to perform over 3 days at the Two Hill Performing Arts Center. But since the pandemic and since we had to readjust and do a lot of other things, we shrunk the number to about 14 last year. We canceled one season. We had to do another one with 14. This time we're back to 21. And so we hope to pick it up as we go forward.
I'm definitely looking forward to seeing a show this season. I'm excited to really share the news also about Dance St. Louis. And you also do an amazing educational program with the Bayer Fund. Tell us more about that.
Well, one of the things that became very evident for me when I first came here was that we were misusing our educational component very much. Not that we weren't providing a service to some communities, but it wasn't staying in town. It wasn't really producing any fruits. So we changed the focus on trying to make it a authentic and very intensive program for our inner city schools. So we partner with 6 schools in the inner city, and that do have to have an artistic program because they have to have some kind of dance thing. So every year we partner with them with 2 teachers affiliated to one of the dance companies. For instance, we had, there were going to be 2 teachers working with them all through the winter on tango. And then there were 2 teachers with them working on classical ballet in the fall. And the whole objective is that after 4 years, They've been taught by 8 different companies, 8 different styles. And if they want to work in dance, or if they want to go into the dance world, they have a background second to none. And it's proven the pack.
I love that. You've worked with some amazing teachers and dance professionals. You also have the Dance Career Award Program. When are those awards presented? And can you tell us a little sneak peek of some of those names?
Yeah, well, the Dance Award came up as an outreach of our educational thing. We wanted to figure out how could we be more helpful. Well, we couldn't help all 150 kids. That we were not able. So we decided we would choose 5 and award them a very small amount of money that would allow them to go places if they wanted in the process to define what their career is going to be. And the career didn't have to be in dance. It could be in anything else. So we had allocation of funds to a young woman who wanted to go to Caltech. Well, she couldn't go by herself, so we flew her and her mother there. Another kid who was very gifted was wanting to go to Juilliard, an audition, and we said, okay, fine, we'll help you get to Juilliard and pay you for some of the cost. And lo and behold, 2 years later, when he graduated, he got taken as one of 24 people in the country into the Juilliard School of Music. Other kids wanted to go to musical theater, so we gave them opportunities to go see other plays or to move to attend summer festivals. So that's the concept behind the awards thing. It's mostly a big brother kind of thing for
It's
them.
amazing because you're bringing dance to St. Louis and giving us the gift, but you're also giving the gift of dance professionals to really expose them to other areas in the country, and I really do believe that's amazing.
No, it's worked tremendous, and we've had a great success with them. And I think it's about 10 or 12 years that we've had the awards going. The rate of what these kids are doing is great, and as I said, not all of them stick to dance.
Right.
I mean, we have other ones that left and they're architects. So, but interestingly enough, it provided a source of fearlessness that they didn't have before, and many of them are the first kids in their families that go to college.
I think it's amazing because I think the arts, the arts, just like sports, are very important and a big portion of why some students may decide to stay in school or stay on the straight and narrow. Those programs mean so much. You've worked with a lot of people over the years, and a lot of great professionals in the dance industry and in the arts have come through Dance St. Louis. Tell us about some of those big names that Dance St. Louis has worked with in the past that we may recognize their names.
Well, as I pointed out at the beginning, the whole process, the purpose of the project is to partner them with the companies that we bring. So when we brought Alvin Ailey here, they've been taught by Alvin Ailey dancers, previous dancers. So they've been taught by the very, very best that represents the Alvin Ailey thing. The same thing with Pilobolus, the same thing when we did something with Chinese dance, the same thing now with tango, the same thing with Ballet Folklorico. So whichever company was paired up, we look at the companies and say, provide us with an opportunity to teach your kids what you are all about, your diaspora, wherever you come, what you believe in, and they help us find the teachers and we bring them into town. And so that you see there, the people that they're presenting, they're all from here, and they've all graduated and gone to do something, not all dance related, but that we're very proud to be part of their lives.
I definitely enjoy it. You spoke about the student who was one of 24 in the country to go to Juilliard. That's
Miles.
an amazing feat, and I'm looking forward to hearing more about his journey and story.
A very gifted kid. I mean, he wouldn't have done it if he wasn't gifted, but
Right.
But at least we're a little bit of help.
Everybody has had to adjust during the pandemic, and like we mentioned earlier, you did Michael's Minute. What are some of the other things that Dance St. Louis has been able to kind of shift and bring the arts? If you could do it, you made it happen in a virtual sense. What are some of the programs that you all were able to contribute to?
Unfortunately, not as much as we would have liked to, because it kept shifting every month, So for our management end, it was very nerve-wracking because we were changing the dynamics of our season every single week almost. When news happened of the pandemic, yes, they're going to open, no, they're not going to open, yes, you could do it, yes, you couldn't. All that made us change. So we had about 5 or 6 different commutations of what our season was going to be. But we were very determined that we were going to bring live dancing to St. Louis the moment that it was possible. And we did it by creating, Richard D had this great idea of creating performances at the Circus Flora tent, which it was much easier to deal with the COVID situation.
Right.
Although we were limited to audience, we only could get 325 in. We brought 325 in, and it was sold out. People were very excited, and that was the first step. And then we kept changing, and now this season we finally opened up last November, and hopefully we'll get to the end of May.
Is there one thing that you saw different with the arts during this pandemic that, you know what, kind of, because I feel like for me, I noticed my own child just had a passion for the arts. I guess I didn't, I don't know if I wasn't paying attention to him enough, or maybe we were just exposed to things different. Do you feel like people have had an opportunity to really sit and relax and enjoy things like Dance St. Louis?
Personally, no, I don't think so. I find it very difficult to sit and watch dance and television. Even myself, though I'm doing it and learning, there is nothing like live dancing. And I find I was very saddened by the fact that I saw all this group of kids lose 2 years, you know, and that they were taught virtually, and they couldn't get into contact with the person. You need that kind of fight, and virtual, it's a little bit too antiseptic, and it doesn't convey everything you want to do. It also can be very picayune, because if you watch yourself on the screen like you're there, you can watch your molds, you know? So
right.
you start watching everything that's wrong with you. So if you're teaching this kid, you're sometimes so concerned with what they're not doing right that you forget the bigger picture.
Well, we're excited definitely to continue to support Dance St. Louis, and the show again, February 5th, the next show that's coming up.
April 16th.
Is
April 16th.
April 16th,
Yes,
okay.
I got it right this time.
And then we have Tango in February, right?
Tango in February,
okay.
Ballet, you know, Monte Carlo, the Trocakdero de Monte Carlo on April 16th, and Spring to Dance, Memorial Day weekend, the 27th, 28th, and 29th of May at the Two-Hill.
Well, we're definitely excited. Thank you, Michael. We know that we have the information up on the screen. Tell us, where can people find Dance St. Louis, or where can they connect with you and really learn more about Michael's Minute as well?
Just go into dancestlouis.org and the webpage. And then the Michael's Minutes were just something that Sarah Thompson, our marketing director, thought it would be wise, that I would just tell my experience to whatever the act was. So it's a little bit of a personal feeling of how I partake of what's going to happen.
Well, we're excited, and thank you so much for stopping by City Corner. I'm Jamie Ballantyne Dobie for STL TV's City Corner.